Today is July 31st, and I just spent the last 30 minutes or so setting up my month-long reading vlog challenge thing. It's a working title. I have taken the last 30 minutes to set up the following apps: Pagebound, Fabled, and Storygraph. So I have been an avid GoodReads user since probably I discovered reading. However, there are ultimately better options out there, or I guess more options out there now, and I want to find out if there's a better option out there. So I'm starting right now. As of tomorrow, I will be vlogging all three of the new apps alongside GoodReads. Well, some of them aren't new, but I will be attempting to use all four of these book tracking, book like style apps, Goodreads style apps, to see if there is a king app and or queen app, and if I would like to ultimately switch. Do I want to keep using all four of them? I don't know. We'll find out as we go along. So I did take a little bit of footage. I screen grabbed it on my phone when I was setting some of them up. So I have decided we're going to start with Pagebound, which is, it looks like this. So you have like my TBR pile up there, and then you have my currently reading. Ignore that. I've been currently reading that for a year now. And then I was able to import all of my data to all three of the apps, the Goodreads data. So I have everything that I need to continue for this month at least. I set my goals on everything, and the biggest reason that I want to switch or attempt to use other apps is because I personally spend so much time using Goodreads, and the stats that I get are like longest book, shortest book, most read genre, and stuff like that. So it's not really like a comprehensive list of my stats. And the only way for me to really take a look at my stats is for me to personally log that data. And while ultimately I can if I want to, why should I have to if other apps are going to be willing to do it for me? So for example, check this out. This is on Fabled. Is this Fabled? Did I lie? Oh, this is on Storygraph. On Storygraph, I have my 63 books that I've read this year, 19,007 pages, and the moods that I have, mostly I read dark, emotional, lighthearted, and funny with a little bit of tense and mysterious, and obviously some other like sort of taglines in there as well. And then the next one, I end up with 32% fast pace and 68% medium pace page number. I read a lot of 300 to 499 page books, and then I read quite a few less than 300 page book, and I read a small amount of over 500 page book. I solely read fiction at this moment. And then as far as my genres, like look at all this data that I would have had to have done the research on myself. Format, I read quite a bit of print books. I have been making conscious effort to log when I read a book on audio. There are some that I know I have to go back and change, and I do read quite a bit digitally as well. I am willing to also go back and change that if need be. Most read authors by far at this moment is Elsie Silver for just this data for this year, I believe. Followed by Lila Sage, H.D. Carlton. I read a couple Anna Huangs, a couple Carrie Lakes, a couple Bryn Reavers, and a couple Nevessa Allens, but no more than two per author. And then I have my number of books and pages read. So I have apparently I had a really good reading month between May and July, and it looks like, yeah, May and July I had a really high spike. Didn't read very hardly, actually zero in the month of February, evidently. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is the kind of data that Goodreads does not provide me. I have star ratings. Check this out. I have given next to no 5 stars, a couple 2 stars, but primarily I'm rating things 2 stars, or 3 stars, I mean. Okay, here, let's go ahead and add my, hey, did this populate, finish populating? There we go. Okay, so I read Summer in the City by Alex Astor. There we go. I have read this book. Add review. Oh, how fun! This book would be so it's very adventurous. I mean, it's kind of lighthearted. It's a medium paced book. It's mainly plot or character driven. I think it's character driven. There's strong character development. It's complicated. Did you find the characters lovable? It's complicated. Would you say the cast of characters is diverse? No. Are there flaws? Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, there's no. Are the flaws of the main characters the main focus of the book? It's complicated. You can give half or quarter star ratings. I usually don't do that, so I'm just gonna leave it at 3 stars to help users. Main themes. I don't know, New York City. Okay. All right. Cool. Turn on reader match. No, I don't really want that. Okay. Community says that it is okay. So a lot of people are saying it's lighthearted. The majority of people do say it's medium. Um, it's strong character development. I don't really think so. It is complicated for sure. Diverse. Yeah, see, so I was right, kind of. Flaws. Yes. Okay. Well, that's neat to see how other people rate this. That's fun. So let's give you a little tour of Storygraph just in case. Sure, you can send me notifications. So this is my to be read pile. Once again, ignore Beach Read as I have not been reading it. Actually, that is a lie. And then you have, this is my stats. We already showed you this on my iPad, but we'll go back through. Check this out. Oh, did I read I guess I read a middle grade book. Oh, I did. Look at that. Check me out. And then here's the format, and then challenges. So I can add challenge. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Add challenge. And it's loading. And it's loading. Oh, cool. So other people make challenges. Oh, that's really neat. Okay. And then this is like the rest of the world hanging out on Storygraph. And here is my profile. All right. So now if I hop over into Fabled, I want to see what kind of data they'll give to me. Mostly it's just asking me if I read today, which I will start doing that tomorrow. I'll start logging those things tomorrow. Let's see, do they have anything special for me in here? Stats, they're going to have some stats for me, but it looks like it's loading stats. So we may have to come back to this one for stats. Fabled. So this is how it works. I don't want to add that I read today because I plan on starting that tomorrow. And then it has, am I friends with somebody? No, okay. Like updates and stuff, and then clubs. They have little sections of clubs that you can get involved in. And then explore, import your contacts. No, thank you. Popular by genre. That's another thing I wanted to compare was how easy it is to search the books. So Summer in the City. Alex Astor. I have read this book, finished, save, and at a finished date. I like to do mine like this. I think we said this. Oops, like this. And I'm giving this a 3-star. How did this book make you feel? This one. How spicy was this book? There's some spice. Oh, I love the fact that you can do this. This is definitely something that Goodreads is missing. The characters pissed me off. How can I? There we go. The characters pissed me off. They were believable. Um, Limited character growth. Minor characters stand out. Okay, then we go to plot. It was a fine plot. Um, Loose ends, non-linear, plot holes, predictable. We knew it was going to happen. Satisfying conclusion, I guess. Steady pacing. And then the setting. Oh my God. That was atmospheric. So, like, New York was its own character in this book. Picturesque, realistic. Setting fits the story. Vivid descriptions, unique location. Idyllic for sure. Invocative imagery. Okay. Writing style is fine. Um, it's kind of funny, I guess. I mean, content warnings. I guess abuse, like a small amount of abuse. That really feels like all. Gotta say more? No, thank you. Publish. There we go. Now back to the tour. So this is my library. These are all the books that I finished, the books I'm currently reading. This is, I'll probably get rid of that. Those are books that I used to get read to me on Read Me Romance podcast. Here is my profile, still loading my stats. This is my lists, clubs we showed you before. Here's my review. Check this out. Some of my reviews. Oh, that's really cool. I can go back and add stuff to it that was imported to Goodreads. I like that. Posts, likes, and that is reading wrap. Share what you read this month. Let's see. It's not loading my stats. We'll go to lists and we'll pop back over into stats. It is taking its time. So we'll move over to Pagebound. Pagebound is the newest that I found. It does not have an app. It has a website that I think is adorable. So if I go to here, I've already set up my profile. So I put my taste up here. It let me log my taste. I only put my 5 stars that I could recall. It looks like I'm a level 2. I earned a badge. I imported my Goodreads data, just like I mentioned before. It looks like the data that, do I have stats? Discover, discuss my profile. Let's see. It looks like that's really kind of it for this. Discuss. So this is mostly like a social sort of platform. Like they have entire little page-bound club. People that are reading these books, I can get together and read them. It looks like these are some popular books that people are reading at the moment. 7 Days in June, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, 1984, The Poppy War, and Remarkably Bright Creatures. It looks like I have finished a read-along book there. Then I have fall read along there, and then it looks like there's some more like club style things. So this is primarily a social media platform. It's I think Goodreads is a really great way to log the information, but it doesn't give you everything I'm looking for. And I'm not really even sure what I'm looking for because I've been using Goodreads for so long, but I think pretty sure I just found it on Storygraph, actually. That data that I was showing you, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Quests, list, stats. So let's see what my stats populate up as on Pagebound. It's taking its time. Okay, so it's showing me all the books that I read. That's it. That's all it will show me. Stats, view challenge. So I guess they're going to log my achievements, which is fine. I mean, I was hoping for more. I think that this is just aesthetically pleasing. Let's see. Yeah, Pagebound is mostly just aesthetically pleasing. I'll take you on a tour. So here is the tour of Pagebound. The website is just very aesthetically pleasing, as you can see. So I'm going to click on Discover. These are the books that are most TBR'd this month. I would like to read this one, so I'm going to put that on my TBR. And I own that one already. So the other thing I want to do is see if I can log the books that I purchased a little better. That's not something that I am usually thinking to do. Definitely want to read that one. Let's see. I own this one, so I definitely want to read that one. And then most people are reading these books. So that's interesting. Popular this week. I think these are really interesting to see what most people are reading. I think GoodReads does a pretty good job of that, but usually you have to scroll forever to get there. And then let's see, my profile. Here is my profile. I want to read these books. I just added them. Set my reading goal to 50, and I completed my reading goal because I imported my data. And let's see, search page bound. So the book that I most recently finished was called Summer in the City. And that was by Alex Astor. And set status. I finished it. Save. Will it let me? It will let me. When did I start reading it? Add. Okay. So it was definitely this month, and it was definitely this year, but I don't have the exact dates. So I say I finished it yesterday, or was it the day before? I think it was the day before. So I'll put the 29th, and I know I started it 2.5 days prior, so I'll put the 27th, and I will save. Oh, I cannot be after the finish date. Oh, oops, I inversed that. User error, apologies. Okay, save. All right, and then let's see, I want to see it populate in there. Books. Oh, it will let me do a plan too. Okay, well, oh, that's really neat. Okay, so what book do I want to read in August? I guess. I don't know what book I want to read in August. I'll just add Watermelon. I don't know that I necessarily want to read that one in August, but I do want to read it. We'll see if I can. That's really cool. Check that out. Okay, but I do want to go back and see if I can add my star rating. How do I add a star rating? Okay, my rating. It was 3-star. It was fine. As overall, oh cool, you can rate it in multiple ways. Overall it was a 3, enjoyment was a 3, quality was a 3. You can do 2.5 stars. That is pretty awesome. Characters, they pissed me off a little bit. The plot was pretty subpar. I'd say maybe my enjoyment was a 4. The writing wasn't bad. Okay. Select up to 3 emojis. If you know, you know. And it pissed me off a little bit. But overall it was cute. Okay. My optional, does your post contain spoilers? No. Cute. That was fun. Okay, so that was my tour and reading of Summer City. The other thing is that this month I plan on reading a lot of non-traditionally published books. I mean, a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I plan on reading an amount of not traditionally published books that are like indie sort of vibe. So I think this is a really fun thing because it's like, will these books appear on these little apps and websites? And I'm excited to see if I can find a new King or Queen app for me. I think I will always be a GoodReads user just because it's kind of my first, like when I'm in a store and I want to know what people think about a book, I'm typing it in on GoodReads. And I wonder if that will change after this month. So I will take you along for my adding of the books, and I will we'll see you tomorrow when it is August 1st and I start this whole experiment. All right, here comes the fun part. I have officially rated a total of 3 books on here. I am now trying to see if they have a specific book that is indie published. Oh, there it is. Check that out. I am currently reading this book. I started it today. That's accurate. Fantastic. Now let's move on to. All right, here is Pagebound. Let's see if Pagebound has it. Let's see. They may not have it. They do not have it. I'm definitely looking for books. Okay, that's a little bit of a bummer, but this is the newest of the platforms. And this is exactly why I chose this month to start trying to see which platform I enjoyed better, because these indie published books are important to me because I read, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of them, but I read a fair amount of them. And if I can't find the book that I need on there, I'm not really sure, you know? Let's see. If you can't find a book you're looking for, you can add it by inputting a link from GoodReads. You'll see it added. Okay, hang on. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, I have the link copied. Hopefully I did it right. Submit. We're on at the book you've added. May take a couple minutes to appear in search results. Okay, not a problem. In the meantime, let us check out the other one. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Set status. I am reading this book right now. All right, moving on. All right. So Fabled finally loaded my stats. I thought that I would share them while we're doing this. So it tells me that, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. It's telling me that I'm an overachiever here. Check this out. I read a lot of romance. What did it say I was an overachiever? Where is it? I just saw it. It's fine. Irrelevant to the plot. Let's see. Go home. And I need to the recipe. Oops. Or oops, nope, 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 nope. Called home. Perfect. I am currently reading this. Save. View in my library. Excellent. Okay. So now I can mark this as that I've read today. And oh, I wish that it didn't have all of these right up there because these are not new. Okay. All right. So that is all of them. And I also like, check this out. If you forget to log that you read that day, you can absolutely do that. However, I am starting with August 1st. So we won't do that because I couldn't possibly tell you every day I read. So anyways, that was Fable. Disregard my appearance. I accidentally fell asleep with my makeup on. But now that I know that all platforms have this book, I'm excited, especially with Pagebound. If they don't have it, I can just add it with GoodReads. That's really a great resource, and it makes the running even tighter for which one would be my favorite. Now, I will say that after having used this platform or all these platforms for 3 days, I still find myself going to GoodReads because it's like habit. You know what I mean? Like if I'm interested in a book, I go to GoodReads first because that's all I've really ever known. But I will say that I'm having a good time. It makes me look forward to rating these books and reviewing these books and like just putting my thoughts down when I have more things to rate than just the book, because I don't always want to write an entire like review for a book, like just throwing some emojis up or like rating the plot or like marking things that like well paced. Like that's fun. Like that's so fun. Fun little unexpected updates. I use Storygraph to help me film my June and July wrap ups. If it hadn't been for Storygraph, I would have had to have plotted this data by myself, and I am tired, and ain't nobody got time for that. Good morning. It is the 18th of August. I have not been like a super reader this month, But I will say that I am finding that I'm actually enjoying using most of the platforms. I would say that Pagebound is significantly more tedious because it does not have an app, meaning that I have to log in via their website every single time. It does not save my login because it's viewing it every single time because I saved it to my homepage, which might be my error. It's viewing it every time I click on that as a page opening. So that's pissing me off a little bit, which it's fine. Like, it's really not that big of a deal because my Google IDs are saved onto my phone. So it's like, it's fine, but it is frustrating. But I noticed that I can't really complain about page bound because um, GoodReads has been logging me out too. Um, I enjoy some of the reviewing features that are unique to each platform. So, Pagebound lets you add 3 emojis. What is it that Fabled lets you do? I think Fabled lets you like rate the characters. Yes. No. Fabled lets you tell other readers if you think it's fast paced, slow paced, are the characters likable, is it mainly plot or character driven? And Storygraph allows you to really kind of, I mean, they all allow you to sort of rate certain aspects like the plot, the characters, stuff like that. But is it Storybound? Storygraph. Storygraph lets you like check off boxes or like click boxes, and it really makes you think. Like, because when I'm reading a book, maybe this is very like not intelligente of me, but I'm not really thinking like, okay, how would I rate this writing? How would I rate my experience with the characters? That's just not how I read. I read mostly for enjoyment. I think I can think really introspectively after I'm finished with a piece of literature, but while I'm reading it, I am fully invested in it, not thinking about much else. And that's why sometimes, like, I've seen people review books and they're like incredibly thoughtful and like really thought provoking the way that they write their reviews. So I was just adding my completed book Outplayed, and it was on all 4. So I didn't have any issues adding that one at all. So that was great. In the month of August, I used all 4 tracking apps, and I am ready to talk about my final thoughts. GoodReads is standard. It is pretty much what most people use, so I don't feel the need to give you my opinion on GoodReads. I feel like it is the only option that we have had for a very long time. So I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to try out a couple more and see, maybe do I want to stop using GoodReads, start using something else, or use them in tandem. They all come with their pros and cons, and GoodReads con is that, I mean, there's a lot of GoodReads cons. Basically, I mean, I don't have time to tell you all of them. But we can start with half-star ratings. Now, because of GoodReads, I was somebody who did not use half-star ratings because it was too complex and convoluted to be able to determine what is a 3-star, what is a 3.5 star, and do I round the 3.5 star to a 4-star? And if I round it up to a 4-star, does that mean that it's actually a lesser 4-star because it was technically a 3.5 star? So I just really never used half-star ratings. After having been able to use half-star ratings for the month of August, I think most of my books got 0.5 ratings. Like, at least half of them were 0.5 star, higher than they would have been if I had only been using GoodReads. The way that the platform is set up, it is so easy to use on GoodReads. When it comes time for the other 3 platforms that I use, Storygraph, Fabled, and Pagebound, all of them have pros and cons as well. And I think that the 2 that I would absolutely, without fail, continue to use are Storygraph and Fabled. And for Storygraph, my favorite thing about it is the stats. I love this right here. I love being able to look at my stats without having to actually go through my books that I read and sort of stat them myself. This is so very helpful when it comes time for, I imported all of my data from GoodReads into this app. So I was able to use this for my stats for June and July. I was able to use this for my wrap up for the month of August. So I really, really enjoyed this aspect specifically of StoryGraph, and I will continue to use it if for no other reason than it makes my stats for me. What I really enjoy about Fabled is the ability to get a streak. Now, this isn't Snapchat, this isn't Duolingo, but I really enjoy that I am able to enter when I read, what book, what day I read it. The downfall of this streak sort of marking that you read a book is that you actually have to log into the app every single day to mark when you read it and what book you read, which I found myself often doing like a couple days later. And like being able to add that later is great because then I can still maintain a streak without having to log into an app every day. Because one thing about me, if I got to log into an app every day, I'm going to forget. It's not a top priority. It does not feed my family or get me any rest. So it's not a priority. Whereas like being able to add it later was a benefit. But because of that, I'm sure that I missed so many days of streak that my current longest best streak is 13 days. And I know that's not true. I know that I have a higher streak than that. But because I didn't log in every day and I wasn't really keeping track, I lost my streak. And while I can't sit here and say that being able to do the streaks is both a positive and a negative, here I am sitting here saying, well, it's mostly positive. The only negative is that I just forgot. I think that I'm still going to continue to use GoodReads because it is the most widely used and links are most often GoodReads links. So if for no other reason than to just easily be able to click a link and find it, I'm going to continue to use GoodReads. Now, whether or not I continue to update GoodReads, I'm not sure. Pagebound was probably my least favorite to work with this month. But that is not Pagebound's fault. I think Pagebound is incredible. It is an indie owned app. I am so incredibly impressed with Pagebound. The reason that I didn't enjoy my time is because it doesn't have an app. So every single time that I wanted to do something on Pagebound, I had to log into their website. And this is not something that is a super, super negative, I guess. But I'm lazy. And if I have to input my email and password every time I want to do something, I'm less likely to want to do it. And towards the end, and maybe this is the fault of the fact that I was using 4 book tracking apps this month, towards the end, I did not really want to update any of the platforms. So, lesson learned, because I was updating all 4 of them at the same time, got to be a little bit of a chore to the point where I didn't want to update all 4 of them because I read 1 book. I waited until I had read 2, and then I'm having to update 4 platforms that I read 2 books, essentially telling everyone that I read something 8 times, which was not fun for me. So here's what I think I will do, which I do probably intend to continue using Storygraph and Fabled. I will probably try and make a point to do it when I finish the book rather than when I'm done with multiple books, because that got to be so much of a chore that I didn't want to do it anymore. How do all 3 of these GoodReads alternatives compare to GoodReads? And I would say if I were treating these like books or like apps, most of them are apps, I would give them a star rating. Because GoodReads is sort of the baseline and it is the most straightforward, easy to use. It's the one I'm most familiar with. It is the one that I'm most easily able to navigate around the platform via the website and the app. I'm giving GoodReads a 3-star. Because of the fact that Pagebound does not have an app yet, I also have to give it a 3-star, where I do feel like if they got the app, it would be a 4-star. I really enjoyed their way of being able to rate the book. You get to use emojis that remind you of the book or give you those vibes. I thought that was really fun and a really nice touch. I think that another bonus point for Pagebound is the vibe of the actual website itself. Like the colors are very like cutesy, like girly pop, very cute, especially when you compare it to something that is just beige GoodReads. When it comes time for Storygraph, I have to give Storygraph a solid 5 stars because being able to look at my data all in one place without having to actually work it and also just the ease and functionality of the app, it's a 5-star. Like, I will continue to use Storygraph. Whether I use any of the other platforms or not, I will continue to use Storygraph. Finally, for Fable, I'm giving Fable a 4-star. I think that Fable is something that I would like to continue to use, especially if I remember and am able to continue to use the streak feature. Streaks are something that feel rewarding as long as you remember to log in and put it in there. Being able to edit it and log that you read yesterday, even though it's the next day, is a positive, but it's still going to get a 4-star for me because ultimately there are just features of other apps and book tracking services that I enjoy more than Fable. After my month of using all 4 platforms, Storygraph is my current number 1. If I do this again, I think we'll be comparing it to Storygraph. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I don't know. I don't know that I'll be doing another one like this. I had plans to do one, but after how long this took me and how long the editing took me and how long of a video this is, I'm not sure. But if you like vlog style content, which I think this is adjacent to, you may enjoy some of the rest of my content, as vlogs are my favorite thing to film and consume. So I hope that you stick around. And if maybe stats wasn't for you and you'd like to see regular vlog style content, well, I have great news. That is basically all I do. All right, I will see you in whichever video you click on next. Bye.